Welcome back to another episode of Riverhawk Spotlight. I'm Josh Hills, joined by Julia Pinckert of the women's basketball team. Julia, last night against Lycoming, you passed Mariana Rossini for 9th place in Susquehanna's career assists leaderboard. What does that accomplishment mean to you?
I mean, it's something that I never really thought I'd be able to do coming into college. In high school, you don't really count assists that way, or at least in the women's game, so it wasn't necessarily a stat that I really focused on until college. And then being able to kind of have this accomplishment going into the end of my junior year, going into my senior year, all I have to say about it is I would not be able to be where I am without my teammates from freshman year until now. Like, I think the assist category is so interesting because it's a shared category. Like, I need great players around me to be able to finish the basketball in order to get to where I am. So I'm just so grateful to have such great teammates and great players around me.
And then in the previous game against Wilkes, you finally beat the school's assists in a single game record with 12. And you had tied that record previously with 11 against Drew earlier this year and then also last season. What does it mean to kind of finally get over the hump and just break that record?
Yeah, it felt great. If we're being honest, I came out of that game and had no idea I even did it. It's not really a number I keep track in my head, but it's always kind of like I could have got it, like type of thing. It's happened 3 times to me now. I tied it my very first collegiate game freshman year, and then I did it last season and this season. So just kind of being able to get over that hump is like almost like a relief in a sense, because I've gotten so close and I've felt like I've been there multiple times, and just being able to have my name officially in that spot means a lot to me, and I'm excited to see what players after me come and try to beat my record.
And then after that game, I overheard Coach in an interview with the Daily Item, complimenting your vision, saying you have some of the best vision of any player she's ever coached. What does that praise mean to you?
It means a lot, because I feel like that's a statistic that kind of goes unseen. It's not rebounds or points. Like, I'm not really a flashy player in those aspects, but IQ is something that I do pride myself on, and I've learned from great coaches like Coach Holko and my AAU coaches and my high school coaches on how to read the floor, and being able to kind of translate that to the college game was something that I struggled with my freshman year, but with the help of Coach Holko and Matisse and Coach E, like, I've been able to really strengthen and hone in on my skills, which I think has led to the success that I'm seeing this year.
You mentioned struggles as a freshman, then building on that, improving. Last year you had less turnovers than in your freshman year. How do you continue that success and have less turnovers this year?
Yeah, being able to kind of slow the game down, and not necessarily pace of play, but how I'm making my reads has been a huge difference between freshman year and now. When you come into the college game, you kind of think it's going to be so much faster, stronger, like more physical, and it is all those things. But what people, I think, don't understand is it's also the mental side of the game has to be so much faster. And I've been able to kind of sharpen my mental skills and be able to make the correct passes rather than kind of making too quick of passes or just not making the right reads. And because of that, I've been able to cut down on my turnovers a lot, and it's still something that I'm working on, and I'm going to push to even cut them down even more my senior year.
You mentioned the speed of the game mentally and physically. How do you kind of find a balance between, and this is a team that likes to play with a lot of pace, a lot of fast break points. How do you kind of massage that balance of playing with pace and getting down the floor, but then kind of settling things down when you need to?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Being able to kind of like know time and score is something that I also do pride myself on, and I pay attention to a lot as a point guard being in that position. Like, I need to be able to understand where we are in a game and understand what we need out of the next possession in order to put ourselves in the best position to succeed. And kind of like understanding, like, in a late shot clock, if we're up, like, we want to burn that time down as much as possible, so we're going into our defensive possession up a score. Like, those are kind of like the way my brain works during games, where it's very much like incremental times. Like, all right, in this time, like, I'm looking up, second we get a rebound, I'm looking up, all right, what's time score? Should I push the ball? Should I pull it back? And that's something that I've been able to kind of be a lot better at as I've gotten older, and understanding, like, when's the right time to throw the Hail Mary pass and when's the right time to slow it down and run an offense.
Looking ahead to this Saturday against Scranton, who's been the gold standard in the landmark the last, I don't know how long.
Forever.
As long as anybody can remember.
Yeah.
What are the keys to that game? How do you maybe put the landmark going on notice going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the game because we always play Scranton tough. Our team shows up against these big games, and I know we're going to show up again going into this game. Like, Scranton is a very strong offensive team. We need to be able to shut down Cranston and defend one-on-one at the end of the day because they are a team of great players who are able to make individual plays. And if we can hold them defensively, limit their possession, limit their shots, and then ultimately execute the way we know how to on offense, I think it's going to be a very competitive game.
You mentioned playing defense one-on-one and shutting down their stars. Recently, in the second half of the season, you switched to a zone defense. What has that adjustment been for you?
I think it honestly plays to our strengths. As a team, we struggled a lot going man-to-man. We let too many straight line drives happen. We were kind of like just trying to find a way to get over that hump, and going into the zone was a transition that we made probably mid-season around like you were talking about, and it gave teams like Scranton struggles. It gave teams like E-Town and Catholic like struggles. Being able to kind of like morph, we don't always run a full zone during a game. We've now hit the point where we're able to go 5 on some possessions, and then we'll be able to go our 2-3 on other possessions, and kind of being able to be that different in a sense makes it hard for the other team to read what we're in. And that was kind of like a secret weapon that our coaches were able to throw in, and to this day I think teams are still struggling to find a way to scout it because they don't really know what we're in. And us as a team, we've done a great job perfecting it and working it and making sure we're all on the same page, that now it's so polished that going into big games like this, I feel confident going into a zone or a man.
And then to finish up, something a little lighter, a little different. Why is it that you wear 00? Because it's a very unusual number.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's really a part of my identity. I have it tattooed on the inside of my foot. In second grade, I played co-ed travel soccer. It was my first ever travel team, and we got the opportunity to pick a number going into it. And I remember sitting down with my dad and being like, I want to be like something unique. Like, I want to be different. Like, and he's like, what about 0? So I was like, okay, fine, I'll be 0. I've never seen a 0. And I played travel soccer. I'm not a good soccer player, but I played travel soccer, and I had the 10. And I was like, you know what, Dad? Like, I'm going into travel basketball now around like 5th grade, wore the 10. I wanted to. Like, I needed more than 10. So then going into travel basketball, I put on the 2 zeros, and ever since then I've worn the number through middle school, high school, and now I get the opportunity to wear it in college, and it's etched onto my skin, and it's a part of my identity.
Well, thank you, Julia, for joining us on the show. I'm Josh Hills. This has been Julia Pinckert. 10 wasn't enough, needed 2. Thank you for watching.